Professor Manoranjan Sinha is a senior faculty member in the Department of Aerospace at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. His pioneering work on Lorentz force-based satellite attitude control addressed a six-decade-old challenge in satellite dynamics. His academic work spanned areas such as flight dynamics, control system, aerodynamics, and aerospace vehicle design. At IIT Kharagpur, Professor Sinha has been involved in various academic research and departmental initiatives, development of aerospace laboratories, and collaboration on aerospace technology projects. His work emphasizes rigorous engineering fundamentals and innovative approaches to solving problems related to aircraft performance, stability, and control. With extensive teaching and research experience, he has contributed to training generations of aerospace engineers and guiding research in both theoretical and applied aspects of aeronautical engineering. So, with this, I request Professor Manoranjan Sinha to take over the session and deliver his talk.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Aniket. So today's lecture it's about the cosmology in Vedic tradition. So I am not a cosmology expert, but I have read some of the Vedic texts and even not the Vedic text fully realized. So right at the beginning, I would like to point it out. But certain ideas are with me, which I have derived from the Vedic cosmology. So I will try to present that. So this is the plan of presentation. First, I will introduce how we process the information, then a little bit about the modern science and cosmology, then epistemology in Vedanta, then we'll go to Vedic cosmology, then thereafter certain comparison, and we'll conclude finally. See, here we have either bottom-up approach or the top-down approach. So in the modern science, it takes the bottom-up approach. This is called the inductive approach. So you acquire knowledge through inductive approach. You add pieces by pieces and then finally build a big picture. In the Vedic one, both the models are used. So here the bottom-up approach and the top-down approach both are used together, and this constitutes the Vedic science. So in the top-down approach, you get knowledge from the higher sources, which are the- which cannot be refuted. Like say in the case we say that the human beings or the living entities are mortal. Okay, so this implies that Manoranjan Sinha, he is also mortal. Okay, because he is also a living being. So we are doing a deductive here. Arguments, and then we are telling that Manoranjan Sinha he is also mortal because this all the living beings they are mortal. Okay, but simultaneously we also add the bottom up approach because everything there is not in the top down approach. If you say the medicine you develop and you design a building, you design an aeroplane, you send satellites, so they are not based on the top down approach. You may have certain idea like in a top down approach, what idea we get, we see that the planets are moving in the sky, so our satellite why it cannot move. So that much idea you are getting. Similarly, the airplane, the birds are flying, so why we cannot fly? Then you will start assembling bit by bit, and then you try to imitate that. So this is what you are getting from the top down. Means you have seen something, and based on that, then you are taking certain uh, decisions by adding bit by bit of the fundamentals. So in the Vedic science, both are used, but top-down approach, it essentially implies that you are getting knowledge from higher sources, which I will show later on in the Vedic epistemology, which are which cannot be refuted. So this is the definition here. If we see top-down approach requires initial knowledge and experience about the subject. Bottom-up requires only conceptual tools such as method, algorithms, and access to the subject matter. Bottom-up approach, this is cognitively more natural to us. Okay, but top-down approach, it is more for the large goal oriented problems or the projects. So I will return back to this subject later on. So unexplained weirdness of nature. So first we'll look into already people have many stalwarts they have discussed about the cosmology. So we have seen that we cannot we know what is happening, but how why it is happening we do not know. So why is the speed of light independent of relative motion of the observers? There is no answer to this. Okay. Why entanglement is taking place? No answer to this. We know that it's taking place, but no answer to that. Why the subatomic particles or even larger molecules they are showing wave-like particle duality? There is no answer to this. Just we have to accept it. No explanation to quantum non-locality, as I told you. So all these are not answered in our modern science because we are not having the top-down approach. Top-down approach means we don't have any source of top knowledge where which will tell that because of this is happening. We are adding our own pieces and trying to build a bigger picture. So then we come to here, we see that what some of the top scientists, we have to say Charles Towns, he is the one of the Nobel laureate. He got Nobel Prize for the laser. So is it unreasonable to think that we already know enough about the natural world to be confident about the totality of the forces? So we are not sure that we know everything about the universe. Okay. Similarly, Stephen Hawking he is making the same kind of statement. So thus we say now the Einstein what is he is telling that I want to know God's thought, the rest are the details. Now you see whatever we know as of today, these are your working models. Okay, these are working models and not the actual reality. Like say in the case if I say we have the quantum mechanics. In the quantum mechanics, the in the wave function, the iota that appears, we say this is the I or iota equal to minus one under root or under root minus one, whatever you say. So this quantity, many people they say that it is in higher dimension. This that there are so many things I have heard and also written in many places, such kind of things. But the reality is that this is just a mathematical tool. Okay. And you are modeling some of the observed reality with certain mathematical functions. Okay. Now, why this I am telling this is mathematical tool because you know that if we assume one plus one times plus times plus, the plus multiplied by plus say plus one times plus one, this is plus one. If I assume that plus one times plus one, this is minus one, so your whole mathematics will change, but physical reality will not change. You can describe the same physics, okay, but the mathematics now turn upside down. Okay, so you see here in this iota, this is minus one. What the Eisenberg in this wave equation, the iota which equal to minus one under root, which is appearing here, this will become plus one under root. Okay. So what we consider that this is the reality and the way in the scientific literature or in the books the things are presented, it appears that it's representing the actual reality, but that's not the truth. Okay, the structural engineers are building, making buildings. Okay, they are designing and doing everything, so they are not considering their that it's a made of atoms and molecules and like that. What there is a continuum of matter, and based on that all the physics is applied, and based on that then you are designing big buildings, 100 stories and 300 stories like that. Okay, so you are aware of that we have many high rise buildings. So the basically whatever we observe we mathematically model it. Okay, and some of the mathematics may fit it much better than others, but that does not represent that it's the ultimate truth. Now we come to the epistemology in Vedanta. So Here, we have three primary ways of acquiring the knowledge. What is called the pratyaksha, the direct perception, anumana, inference, and sabda, the revealed knowledge. So, pratyaksha, the direct perception, here it has got limitation like the Brahma, Pramada, mistake, Karnatava, and Vipralipsa. So illusion, mistake, limitation of senses, cheating propensity, all they exist. So we get eluded. See, we are our thing like the in the room next to me who is sitting. So I don't know. Okay, so this is our limitation. These are limitation of pratyaksha. We cannot directly know it. Okay, so pramada, similarly, we do mistakes. Brahma, we are subject to illusion. Then limitation of senses, what I told, but that I cannot see in the next room. Similarly, cheating propensity. In the scientific literature, many things are reported which are not only wrong, but many times to get benefit or say, especially among the research scholars, they present the wrong things. Okay, if the result is not coming, they will force and present the result. So this is cheating propensity. So because of this, your protection knowledge, this gets limited. Then comes to anumana, inference. So here the logic cannot provide the final proof, as the Vedanta Sutra is telling. And then one should not use logic to understand what is inconceivable. This is in Mahabharata. So anumana, inference, based on anumana, you are guessing that in the universe this is lying, that is lying. So one example I can give, and anumana is basically your inductive knowledge. So here, say on a far hilltop, there is cloud, or it may be fire, and because of the fire, there is smoke, and which is appearing like cloud, and you are thinking that it's a either fire, either it's a cloud. So whatever, but that inference may not be correct until unless you apply further judgment. What this is really is by taking the spectral measures and other things. So inference is always subject to limitations, and it's not the final knowledge. So whatever you get about the cosmology, so that is not really a final knowledge. This is just limited knowledge, or you say you are modeling the reality, what you see, or what you infer through your radio telescope. You are inferring something, and then you are modeling it so that your model matches the observed data. This is what you are telling, you are doing. So this is one logic. Like I can give one inductive. Suppose that somebody is coming and giving somebody daily some amount of food. He is coming daily and giving some amount of food. Okay, so it appears that okay, and the person who is receiving the food or money, whatever. So he is thinking that this person is very nice, this world is very nice, and so on. He based on, because he is building a inductive knowledge. Today it has happened, tomorrow it has happened, day after tomorrow it has happened. So it has happened for say the 364 days, and 365 days that person comes and finishes. The person who was receiving the food or whatever, for whatever reason. So here his inductive knowledge has failed totally. So inductive knowledge, it's not foolproof. Okay, it may work under certain circumstances because it's a model of the ultimate reality. So the ultimate reality, what this is called the revealed knowledge. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am knower. I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am knower of the Vedas. This is Bhagavad Gita 15.15. This is the verse number where Krishna is telling to Arjuna that Sarvasya Chaham Hridayan Sannivishto Mata Smriti Jnanam Apunam Cha. So this is the verse there. So this is the meaning. So directly the knowledge can be revealed within the heart of one who is very pious, who is very advanced in spiritual knowledge. So they receive this kind of knowledge. Okay. And others may be what they are doing. So it may be the product of mind and product of your brain. So that does not constitute the revealed knowledge. So, however, this source of knowledge we are acquiring, say here, whatever Vedanta is telling, that individual soul is located here, and this is consciousness is shown, and you see the here the gross world where ether, air, fire, water, earth. These are not the air and fire, water. What you see, these are again the elements. These are the five basic elements described in uh, Vedas or the Vedic literatures, but due to the Greeks, it has come to known that this is being referred to the earth, air, fire, water, etc. The name is the same, but it's a different. Then we have the five organs of acquiring the knowledge, the eyes, ears, and other things, and five organs of actions. Then related to the five organs, we have the auditory senses and other things, and five sense of actions. These are at the subtle level. Then above this, the mind is there, which combines all these informations, whatever is being, and then it tries to, with the help of intellect, then it tries to estimate what this knowledge is. The finally it goes to the false identification. So there you mm, assume that this is happening with me, this is I am doing, but actually this material knowledge, material nature is doing, and we think that as a soul that we are doing. This is called the false identification or false ego. Then here is lying the individual soul, and from the super soul, then the knowledge is descending down. So this is what is called the revealed knowledge from the super soul, or from the some of the some of his associates. Once he the knowledge descends, so this knowledge, what is descending here, this is called the para sound. Okay. In Gautamiya Tantra, there are three counts of sounds. It's told. Okay, one is Madhyama sound. So what I am speaking now, this is comes within the Madhyama sound, and what is being communicated to the soul through all this through the channel of the this mind and other things. This is at the level of Pashyanti. Okay, and here. If you go further above this, so communication between the soul and the super soul, that place at the para sound level. This is not the normal communication. So Max Planck, what he has to say, the fundamental and indispensable of every genuinely productive science are not based on pure logic, but rather on metaphysical hypotheses, which no rules of logic can refute. There exists an outer world which is entirely independent of ourselves. It is only through their immediate dictate of our consciousness that we know that this world exists. So now in Vedic cosmology, why this Vedic cosmology is important? Because here we try to understand why our existence is there, why do we exist, why so much pain in life. Many people, they do not want any pain, but they still suffer. Okay, you are thinking that best will happen, and just the opposite thing happens. Okay. So as I told you, and you might have seen through all the lectures on the related to the cosmology, Hubble telescope and other things, many James Webb telescope and so many things. So all these are the knowledge you are either inferring or it's on the pratyaksha level, and based on those knowledge, you are doing certain inductive measures, and through that you are generating certain knowledge in the form of mathematics or in the form of equation, but that does not constitute the final knowledge. As I told you, that in the Heisenberg, this wave function, this iota appearing, this is minus 1 under root, but if you do plus 1 under root there, still you will get the same physics, but in a reversed way. Reversed way means the pressure, if you say that this is the compressive pressure and you give it a plus sign, so the same compressive pressure will be indicated by a minus sign there. That is the only reversal which is taking place, and that is happening in the in just in the mathematical notations, that the plus sign gets minus, minus sign gets plus, but the physics remains the same. So mathematics can model anything. So what we get under the impression that okay, this is the final knowledge, the scientist has given this, scientist has given that, it's not the truth. You are just modeling. You are just modeling. All the time you are modeling the observed phenomena using certain mathematics. Okay. Say in the case of, I will take one example. In the case of we have in the case of the aircraft. So aircraft, actually, if you see the aircraft is turning, so that turning motion, there is a moment acting on the aircraft, force acting on the aircraft. So that moment and the force, it results from the motion between the body axis and the wind axis. I need not go into all those technical details, but for the last 100 years, it was assumed that it's just the body axis moving, and because of that, the forces and movements are getting generated. So still the whole aircraft is working, isn't it? And still the same concept is being applied. This has not been updated, because updating it will require a lot of money investment. So nobody does that because it's a working. So your models are working. It's fine, but it may be away from the truth. Okay, so according to Vedanta, the purpose behind the manifestation of material world is to bring the deluded living entities back to the real platform of happiness by awakening the bhakti, the devotional yoga within everyone. Bhakti is the sublime devotional quality which connects the individual with the supreme. So our this Bhakti Vedanta Institute, this founder director, Dr. T.D. Singh, he termed this as the big vision model. So, confirmation of the big vision model, Roger Penrose is saying that universe has a purpose. It is not there for somehow or by chance. So, similarly, this see the Isaac Newton what he has to say. The most beautiful system of the sun planets could only proceed from the counsel and dominion of intelligent and powerful being. The problem is where it exists that whatever we model, we think that this is the ultimate reality. But this is not true. This is just the mathematical modeling, and I have been working with the whole mathematics. I work in the planetary dynamics. I work with the satellite attitude control. I work with the aircraft. I work for the AMCA, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, the ADA is designing. So I know what is the reality and how the things are working. So your model may work, that's fine. There is no issue with that. To certain limit, to certain extent, to certain degree of error, it will work. But it is the ultimate reality. That's not the truth. So now we look into the Vedic cosmology, how the creation takes place. So you see this in the top left corner, it is shown that there is Krishna is standing there. So this is the Golok Dham, it's told, and from Krishna, this Mahavishnu is born. This is called he is called the Karnavdaksai Vishnu, and he is sleeping there, or he is basically in Yog Mudra, so in Yog Nidra, and in that numerous universe comes from his body, and once he inhales, so all many of them they enter, okay, into his body and then gets destroyed. So I will come to the time scale, what is there. So it will come later on. Then this in Mahavishnu, then he expands himself, enters each of the universe as the Garbhodaksai Vishnu, and then the Garbhodaksai Vishnu, he expands himself, enters each of the atom and energizes it. The way the atom behaves, why any matter should exhibit gravity. Okay. If you are assuming this is the quantum space, say, what the quantum fluctuation taking place, and because of that, this is coming, the universe is coming. Why that quantum fluctuation should take place? Okay, so there is no answer to this. All these things never can be answered. Okay. So here you see that the all the sustenance, it's basically the energy is coming from the Supreme Lord. Okay. Now here, this is I have indicated in terms of the controls. Those who are aware of the controls, so they may be knowing this the block diagram. So Pradhana, this is the unmanifest state of matter, and within Pradhana itself, there are the three modes, which is called the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But they are right now they are once they are in equilibrium, this Pradhana remains unmanifest. Okay, so it's not visible. Okay, once the three modes gets disbalanced, okay, then the Pradhana turns into what is called the Prakriti. So Prakriti is three modes disbalanced and Pradhana together. So and Prakriti is ready to bear fruits. Okay, so once the Mahavishnu, which I have told is a Karnodaksai Vishnu, he injects souls into this Prakriti, then this Prakriti is ready to bear the fruits. Then it starts producing the fruits, and that fruit manifests as Mahatattva. And thereafter, your whole this creation then unfolds. So this is the verse I have taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 22nd chapter, and this is uh, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 12th chapter, and 12th verse. So nature exists as the equilibrium of the three material modes, which pertain only to the nature, not to the transcendental spirit soul. Okay. Now the process of creation here, you can see in quite details, it's given here. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through that Mahavishnu and all other things, uh, those things are not shown here. Then the time factor is shown here. Without time factor, nothing will happen. So Pradhana is there, 24 elements. Then the three modes of material nature is shown there. Then the spirit is injected. Okay. So this matter is ready to bear fruits or produce the result, which is called the Mahatattva, and this is the animated matter now. So from there, then the false ego gets generated. The false ego, then the mind, intelligence, and mm, uh, this is the false ego. Then you have the mind and intelligence coming out, and then the five subtle elements, five gross elements. What I have shown in the earlier one, five subtle elements are basically the feeling of touch and then the smell and other things. And the gross elements, this Chitijal, Pavak, Gavan, Samira, fire, water, ether, all those things, it comes here. Five sense organs, this has been shown in the previous slide, and this is the mind. So finally, you get a body here. So, and this body, where the embodied soul is connected with this body and experiences and thinks that I am the body itself. So, this is called the false ego, which manifests finally in recognizing the self with the body. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, this material nature, which is one of the my energy, is working under my directions. So, this is the verse from 9th chapter and verse number 10th. Maya Dakshana Prakriti Suyatasya Characharam Hetu Nanakwantaya Jagat Viprapati. So this is the verse whose meaning it's given here. So see, Werner Heiser, what he has to say, there is a higher power not influenced by our wishes, which finally decides and judges. Similarly, the dissolution of the universe, already we see the dissolutions happening. Every day people are dying. Somewhere the war is taking place. People are dying. So these are a small dissolution. Then the partial annihilation takes place. It takes place at the end of one day of Brahma. That means it's 12 hours. Then elemental or the universal annihilation takes place once the Lord Brahma 100 years age is over. So when the two halves of the lifetime of Brahma are complete, the basic elements of creation are totally annihilated. Thus, according to Vedanta, our universe will end in another 155.518 trillion years. This is the life of the universe remaining. What is the nature of time? So, in the modern science, in the Newtonian mechanics, it appears as a background, okay, in which your event takes place. In the general relativity or the special relativity, you see this entering as the in the general relativity, it enters as the fourth dimension, okay, and then Stephen Hawking also assumed that there is one another time, imaginary time he proposed. Now we look into the Vedanta, what it has to say. So Vedic description of time. Maitreya said, eternal time in the primeval is the primeval source of interaction of the three modes of material nature. So unless time is not present, this interaction of the modes will not take place. And this is the interaction which creates imbalance. So this is because of the time. It is unchangeable and limitless, and it works as an instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 10th verse, 10th chapter, and verse number 11. And the real time, how it's given. So real time, atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. So this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 11th chapter, verse number 4. Okay. And A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was the inspiration for founding this Bhaktivedanta Institute, so what he has to say is, metaphysically time is distinguished as absolute, and the real. Absolute time is continuous and is unaffected by the speed or slowness of the material things. Real time uh, is measured astronomically. So basically, the time what we feel, it's a activity of our mind. Now see the relativity existing, what is given in Vedic literature. So on the right, in the top right, you see in the blue shirt, this is Kakudami, and on the lotus, this is the Brahma. So Kakudami, he was son of Raivat Manu. Okay, and Raivat Manu, once Kakudami's daughter was Revati. So Revati once got eligible for marriage, so he could not find a suitable groom for her. Then he went to along with Revati to Lord Brahma's abode, and once Lord Brahma was, he went there. So Lord Brahma was busy in certain court affairs. So as soon as he finished, so hardly few minutes. So in the meanwhile, Lord Brahma, he put his question before Brahma. So he told that 27 Chatur Yugas, it's already passed. Okay, so 27 Chaturyugas, one Chaturyuga is basically one Mahayug, which is 4.32 million years, basically, one Chaturyuga. So 0.11664 billion years, earthly years pass in this Chaturyuga. But actually, the Raivat Manu, he belongs to the fifth Manvantar. And Kakudami was his son. So there are some spanning. Even the fifth is getting over, and then the sixth is getting over. And this is currently the seventh Manvantar is going on. And then seventh Manvantar, 27 Chaturyugas, it's already over. Then the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, it's over. And this Kali Yuga is running, of which 5,100 years, it's already over. So you see that relativity is there. Now you will see that Raivat Manu has gone there. So in that, because of the motion, this relativity is happening. That's not true. You just look while the Brahma is telling to him. He told that, see, already seven Chatur Yugas in this Manvantar, it's already passed. Okay, so Dwapar Yuga is to what end? Krishna Balram is there. Go and marry your daughter Revati to Balram. Okay, so if it would have taken him so much of time, so Brahma would not have told him that you just go there and then marry your daughter. So it's a domain effect. So here it's a telling that because of the domain, there are certain domains where the time runs very slowly. Another example on the bottom, it's a given. This belongs to pastime of Lord in Vrindavan. So as a child, he was there, and Brahma has told the cowherd boys, so only for a second or say the few seconds. But in the meanwhile, the 1 year passed on 1 year passed on this earth. Okay, and Krishna, he manifested himself in many of the cowherd boys, as you can see on the right hand picture. So these are all indicating that there are domain specific time. Yeah, how the time is running. It's not just the relativity. Okay. So even Brahma, he lives for one nimesa. It's a fraction of a second. Perhaps, if I don't remember correctly, it may be 3/16 or 1/16. One nimesa. It's a less than. It's just a nimesa means once you blink. This is called one nimesa. So and Brahma lives for just that much of time of Krishna. So Brahma's total life is 3.11.04 trillion years total life, and out of which I have already indicated 155 something it's already spent. Okay, here this is a time scale given for how Manmantra and other things. So this may not be of interest right now. We'll go to the next slide. Okay, so these are the some of the features of our universe. What the Vedic cosmology tells us. It's a closed shaped, X-shaped, closed. It's a closed and X-shaped. It's not open. The percentage is given. All these things are given here. Okay, our universe will end in another 155.518 billion trillion years. So there are innumerable universes, as we have indicated in the picture above. Here in this left hand top is here now innumerable universes are coming. Okay, it's not that just one universe. So your multiverse, whatever you are telling. So in the multiverse picture, many we are showing they are clung together, but that is also not written there. They are sticking together. So now we come to the actual this solar dynamics. So in the solar, this is written in a different language. So if you see here, I will go through this quickly. Uh, Sun heats up the universe and maintains the proper order. It also gives light to help all living beings. While passing toward the north, toward the south, or through the equator, in accordance with the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is said to move slowly, swiftly, moderately. Means the sun is moving swiftly, slowly, and moderately according to the movement in rising above, going beneath, or passing through the equator. So it passes through the equator of the earth. This is because inclination is there. It will come later on. And then correspondingly coming in touch with various signs of the zodiac headed by Makar. Days and nights are shorter, longer, or equal to one another. It will get to this. You see here, mm, so nowhere the Bhagavatam or the Vedic literature it's telling that the earth is flat. Okay. And the earth, many people, even in the West, they say that the earth is flat, and they have done experiment and have died also falling from the rocket. Okay. So here Earth rotates in 23.56, 23 hours, 56 minutes once. If it rotates in 24 hours, so you will see that if there is 12 p.m. right now, so after 24 hours, when the Earth is here, so 12 at the 12 p.m. there will be night. So your biological things will change, and this world will be very much different. What you see as the variation of the season, it's because the inclination of the axis of the Earth, and this is toward the sun. So here, if you see the cursor, here this is the axis of the rotation of the Earth, and here the sun is there. So right now in the northern hemisphere, if you see this is the summer, and on the southern hemisphere this is winter. Okay, and opposite thing will opposite, just opposite happens. But this 12-hour times, this because of the 4 minutes which gets accumulated and makes 12 hour over the 6 months here, because of this takes place. So our Earth is this spherical in shape. There is no doubt about this. This gives you picture about the galactic plane. This is the Milky Way galaxy. Somewhere here the sun is shown, and toward this is our orbit, which is making 60 degree, 60.2 degree with the galactic plane. And here the Earth is shown. Earth's orbit is shown to in this place. And to this plane, the Earth is inclined at 23.5 degree approximately. This varies over a period of time. So now we go to another one. So here it is again shown. This is the axis of the Earth, and galactic plane has been shown here, and galactic latitude. So right now your Earth's axis is pointing toward the Polaris. Another in the 14,000 AD, it will be not pointing toward the Polaris. So what you call the Dhruva star or the polar star, this will no longer be the axis lying on the axis of the Earth. Rather, this Vega here written here, it will be the axis of rotation of the Earth will be lying here. So in fact, this rotation takes place around 25,800 years. So if you see here, this is the toward the Polaris, and this axis itself it precesses, and this precession takes place because Earth is not perfect a sphere; it is bulged, and because of the torque which is produced on the Earth, because of this bulge, and you know from your rigid body dynamics that any object, rigid body object, which is spinning on its axis, and if you apply a torque to this, so it will start precessing. So for that reason, your Earth precesses, and here it's written 26,000 years, but it's approximately 1 degree in 72 years. So that turns out to be around 25,800 years or something, if I remember correctly. So maybe we can take it 26,000 years. So here again, it's written toward the Vega, so our Earth axis will change. Okay, now if you see even our literatures which is related to astronomy, Indian astronomy, not I am talking about the Bhagavatam or any other thing. This mentions that the Earth's axis itself, this is called the equinox. So equinox is precessing. So or the polar axis of the Earth is precessing. So so here, if you see, it is moving in 26,000 years, and you don't have any instrument to measure it. Neither your life is so long. So how you will measure? So this knowledge has descended from the top somewhere in time. Okay, and over the period of time, it gets also corrupted, it gets also lost. So this is not because we are not having any instrument to measure it very correctly. Nowadays, we can calculate based on the rigid body dynamics that we know the inertia of the Earth about various axes, and the torque distance from the Earth to Sun. So how much torque is being produced. So this is known to us, and therefore we can calculate what will be the precision rate. But this was not earlier there. So how they are getting all this knowledge? In one lifetime, it's not possible. Even in 100 lifetimes, it's not possible. Okay, so you have to measure it, you have to see, observe it, and then only it can be predicted. So neither you had instruments that sophisticated to measure it. So coming to this, we have here the sun, and see the earth is, this is the modern view what we have. The earth is here moving around the sun. So as we look from the sun, from the earth, the sun. So see here in the September, the sun will appear to be in the constellation of Leos. Similarly, here in the November, sun will appear to be in the constellation of Scorpio. So this way, if you see from the Earth, so apparently the sun is moving, and as the inclination once the Earth axis is pointing toward the sun, and it is pointing toward the away from the sun, while it goes in the opposite place. So accordingly, your sun will appear to move across the equator. Okay, so this description given in Bhagavatam, then it's perfectly correct. There is just a matter of perspective, from what perspective you have described it. You see here the same thing is being described here. December, this is winter solstice. Uh, in the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere, what is happening there? So right now it is here in this is June, and once your axis is away from the sun, so this is winter, and then here this is summer, and here your day and night they are equal, because the axis on the equator you get just the vertical sun rays are falling, and therefore days and nights are equal. Here again, the same thing is being depicted here in the southern course of the sun, how the nights are becoming longer. Here, the longest night, you see, once at this place, this is the longest night, and as soon as from the Dhanu Rasi or the Sagittarius, as it enters the Makar, and it is going, basically, it is crossing the equator here and entering the Makar Rasi. It is going in the northern hemisphere, and then the northern course of the sun. So this is the longest day. Then happens around the in the June, and here you have the longest night, which happens in the December. So this is the way it's happening, and all these details given in Bhagavatam, it's correct. So when the sun passes through the Mesh and Tula, the duration of day and night are equal. When it passes through the five sun headed by Vrishabh Taurus, and the duration of days increases. So it's increasing, decreasing. Whatever is happening. So all it's a given, and it happens to be correct. Nothing wrong there. So when sun passes through the five signs beginning with Vrishik, duration of days decreases. Again, it's a given. The sun moves fast, sun moves slow. Already I have shown you in the one of the words. So what is happening there? So actually the Earth is moving in elliptical orbit. So because of this, near the periapsis, Earth is moving very fast, and about the apoapsis is moving slow. So your apparent rate of change of angle of the sun, it becomes faster and slower. Therefore, you can say that the sun is moving faster, sun is moving slower. So all these things written from the perspective while we see it from the Earth. Okay. So when the passes through the sun passes through the five signs beginning from which duration of days decreases. So see here it's a given there, and then gradually it increases month after month until the day and night becomes equal. So these are not text on cosmology. These are text on the devotion, where you can connect with the supreme, and you know that whatever the knowledge you are acquiring, it's all mathematical modeling. This is nothing absolute about this knowledge, that this is the only correct thing and nothing else is correct. Okay. Okay, so here again it's a given mountain, sun moves over a mountain. Again, this mountain is a given there, but if we don't see any mountain, so people would not have been full. Yes, so basically Vyasdev has written this, so he's not a fool that he will write that the sun is moving over a mountain. It's not visible. So and but the what is the circumference of the sun's orbit? It's written here. Okay. So the sun's god chariot estimated to be 6,000 yojan. Now the chariot, his sun's god chariot length is given, and once you divide by this this length, then what you get, this is the length of a constellation. Okay, I have calculated. Once you divide it by the previous this one, this much of miles by or the yojan by this yojan, so you will get around 27. You have 27 constellation. So basically, here it says the chariot is nothing but your length of one constellation. So now the living entities, these are described about the different living entities. It may not be of interest right now. Uh, Now here it says the chariot of the sun god has only one wheel, which is known as the Samvatsar. Samvatsar, this is referring to 1 year, and it has 12 spokes. Now you see these are 12 spokes are the 12 months, and this way it has been described. It's not written in the modern language, but information given is correct. It's not wrong. Okay. Then this is conversation between the Parikshit Maharaj and the Sukdev Goswami. So he is telling that you have already affirmed the truth that supremely powerful sun god travels around Dhruv with Dhruv both Dhruv and Mount Sumeru on his right, and at the same time sun god faces the signs of zodiac uh, and keeps the Sumeru and Dhruv on his left. How this is reasonable and possible? So basically, there is a conception of Dhruv Loka and what the polar is, and also the conception of Mount Sumeru. Mount Sumeru is not a mountain because Mount Sumeru is given to be narrow at bottom and wide at the top. So you have never seen any mountain which is wide at the top and narrow at the bottom. So this is not basically a mountain. This is something, some cosmic axis or whatever it may be. I have not been able to decipher till now this. Okay. So it is
Sir,
basically this is telling that yeah, time is over.
I request you to please conclude in 1 or 2
Sir, I am
minutes.
winding up. So here, what it is telling that the sun god, the basic concept is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Sukdev Maharaj replies that we have seen the potter's wheels, what we call in Hindi chap. So potter's wheel, you will see that it's a moving and together one ant is there. So ant moves with that potter wheels, and also ant's motion is different from the potter wheels because on the potter wheels itself the ant is also moving. The same way the description has been given about the motion of the this planets or the this various constellation. So because of the rotation of the earth about its axis, constellation moves. Okay. And because of the earth's motion around its rotation of one axis, and because of the earth's rotation on its earth's orbital motion, the constellation changes takes place. So at a different time you will see that the sun is in different constellations. So already I have shown that. So these all the concepts, whatever is given, it's a well verified. Okay. So it is given in this verse where he is telling this Potter wheels and this analogy. So sun god has three speeds: slow, fast, and moderate. So this speed comes because of the Earth's motion around the sun, which is moving at fast, moderate, and slow. So faster it is at the periapsis, slow it is at the apogee, intermediately it is moderate. So then there are distances and other things given, which I have not been able to decipher right now. And then the one plane is mentioned. So this plane is also, it's a different and different descriptions are given. So I have not been able to get into all these details, but crudely this appears like this, but don't take it as it is, because mm, one nothing in the three dimension on one plane you cannot live. Any living entity cannot be of two dimension because it will get into half uh, because of the food digestive system. So it will 2D creature cannot exist. So the same thing is shown here. This is the Tapoloka, which is the Lord of abode of Brahma. This is the Gardhavaksai Vishnu, which is from whom this Lord Brahma gets generated. And you see the different concepts, but you don't take as it is because this is not in the visual domain the way it has been written. And outside this, then we have the covering on the universe, where the first covering is we have the earth. First covering is water. Then this is fire, then the air, then the ether, then mind, intelligence, and false ego. These are the um, uh, these are basically the coverings, if I remember this correctly. And each of the covering which is going outside, so it's a 10 times the previous covering. So it's suggested that what the largest space structure you see, uh, those large space structures may be interaction of the elemental elements which is taking place in this band. Okay, these are all the details which may not be of the interest right now. So we wind up. Okay, this one last, with this I will wind up. So this is the Markandeya Rishi. So Markandeya Rishi, basically he wanted to see the illusory potency of Lord, how he produces illusion. So what he did, that Lord blessed him. Okay, you will get this. Then this was the Nar Narayan Rishi. So Nar Narayan Rishi, then he left, and then he went to his hermitage, this Markandeya Rishi, and then after a few days, what he saw, that very big clouds are coming, and then thereafter water comes, and then it's a total devastation, and then he is floating in devastating water, and it's so happening. Then he is million of years he is lying in that water, and he is not dying, but he is feeling all the pains and everything. And then he saw that one child, bluish colored child, is sitting on one banyan tree. Uh, one of the small island, there is a banyan tree on the small child is sitting on a small leaf, banyan tree leaf, sleeping. And once he saw, so once the child inhaled, he went inside, and he saw that okay, everything is already there, that he is there in the hermitage is there, his hermitage and everything as is intact. Then again he is thrown back, and he is thrown into this. Then he rushes, he understands that what is happening, then he rushes to hold the lotus feet of the Lord. Then as soon as the Lord vanishes, and all the illusion vanishes. So whatever you see in this material world and thinking that this may be a pure reality, this may even be just because the Lord Vishnu is in the Yog Nidra. So all this is happening at that level. Everything is being created. So Lord can produce anything anytime, and you will manipulate the matter. You will create semiconductor. You will go to this planet, that planet. You will do all sorts of endeavors, write mathematics, model airplanes, satellites, everything, make buildings, everything. So all this basically it's the illusory potency of the Lord, which if he withdraws, everything goes. If he gives you, you remain in the illusion. So this is a very much a learning story, which is the real story. It's not just what the people they call mythology. These are not mythology. These are the real story which was revealed in the heart of Lord Vyasdev. Okay. So you will say that how do you know the past? So you know the past because you are doing recording today and producing in the hard disk and showing it to somebody else. So okay, this is the proof. So similarly, Lord Brahma he revealed, and Lord himself, Lord Krishna, he himself revealed the matter within the heart of the Lord Vyasdev, and from there the whole thing is known. So this is the revealed knowledge, and nobody can challenge this knowledge. Okay, whatever you do, whatever you model, it will always remain a mathematical model, never a complete truth. Okay, so concluding remark, the theistic model of the Vedic cosmology has many interesting features. We have already seen that scientific cosmology is incomplete in describing origin of the universe. Cosmology may be one of the meeting points between science and spirituality if we use the top-down approach, both together. So we may do much better than what we are doing today. Okay. So thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor Sinha, for enlightening and intellectually enriching lectures. Very beautifully connecting Vedic wisdom with the modern understanding of cosmology. And now we would like to begin the question and answer sessions. So the first question from Dr. Bharat Pandey, Government PG College, Ranikhet, Almora, Uttarakhand. Sir, I want to ask if Vedic cosmology describes the universe as cyclic, timeless, and multidimensional, and Einstein's theory of relativity shows that space and time are relative and interconnected. Could it be possible that ancient wisdom, Vedic thinkers, intuitively conceptualized a form of space-time reality similar to modern physics? And if yes, are we rediscovering what was already philosophically understood thousands of years ago?
See, here what I will state that this is not the intuitive thinking. This is revealed knowledge. Okay, but if you think that Ved Vyas is like Manoranjan Sinha, an ordinary person, this is not true. Ved Vyas, he is the Maharshi Ved Vyas. He was extraordinary. He is called to the Sakta Vesa avatar of Lord Krishna, literary incarnation of Lord Krishna. So these are all the revealed knowledge. Okay, and on based on that revealed knowledge, so I have not talked about the anything multidimensional because I have not myself experienced it, so I am not telling about that. But the what the Vedic science, the Vedas, they are telling that there are the demigods are present. So demigods obviously we do not see because they are not made of the same tattva. We have the ether, water, for all these things, earth, ether, fire, water, all these things are there. Chiti, Jal, Pavak, Gagan, Samira. So all these elements are there, but they are not made of the same elements. So why don't we see the soul of others? Why don't we see the subtle bodies? It's because we are not made of the same tattva, and we are made of the tattva which is more gross. It's not the subtle. So those who are in the subtle domain, they can view the subtle ones, but we are not subtle living elements, and therefore we are not able to visualize wherever higher dimension or whatever it may be. So the demigods, they existing, the subtle beings, or either the Lord Krishna himself existing, or the soul. Do we see the soul ever? But the consciousness, we know that we are ourselves conscious. Okay. So we never have even perception. Only through inference we can make it, or either we have the revealed knowledge. So through revealed knowledge we know all these things. So this is not intuition. So if you tell that this is the intuition, then it becomes inference. You are making certain inference based on your certain observation or whatever it may be. So this is not intuition. This is really the revealed knowledge.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for clearly explaining. And we would now take next question from Hariom Uttarakhand. I may be a question of stupidity, but still I'm asking. The God created the universe, but who created the God? What is the source of God's creation or God's energy? Any scientific explanation, please?
I will give you. So this is basically not a right question. But what I will tell here, see the Vedic literature, they tell that Iswara Parma Krishna Sachidanand Vigraha Anadi Radir Govinda Sarv Karan Karanam. Iswara Parma Krishna. Iswar, he is the supreme God. Supreme God, Parma Krishna. Krishna is the Param supreme God. Sachidanand Vigraha, Sachit Anand, it's a, he is deity of Sachit Anand. Anadi Radir Govinda, he is the beginning, and Anadi, he is also whose no beginning is there. Sarva Karan Karanam, and he is the cause of every cause. So as soon as you assume that God is created by somebody, so then who has created the God? The other body who is creating the God. So this question will come. So this is not a right question. So similarly, somewhere many people say, can't the Supreme Lord devise a stone which will kill the stone itself, kill the God himself, because he is all powerful. So he should be able to do this. Then in one of the reply, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, he told that, okay, he can also do that. This stone will kill Krishna and Balaram will make him alive. Okay, so he can pretend, he can create anything. He can create all sorts of illusion. So this is a revealed knowledge. That's why this is called revealed knowledge. And whatever you do here, whatever you model, these are all models. These are not the truths. Whatever we see, these are all, and based on that, we design the computer, we design this, see that we are designing quantum computer, and then so on. So all these are based on our observation. We have modeled something and something works. Aircraft also works, as I told you, because the aircraft force and moment, it depends on the the rotation, relative rotation of the wind axis and the body axis. But all the aircrafts are just based on its modeling are based on the rotation of the body axis, not on the relative rotation. So how it's working? It's working. There are certain limits of tolerance and other things depending on different system, and it's working, and it will work. Okay, so this question is not proper, as I told you, because he is the supreme lord and he is the beginner. And as soon as you assume the other one who is creating him, so another question will arise: if who is creating him? Similarly, the observer. If you think that inside, no, this is creating this, this is creating this, and then consciousness is getting generated, so it will have infinite sequences. So it's the ultimate observer. The soul is the ultimate observer, and it's observing. So this is not this is epistemologically correct. Okay, and not only scientifically. Okay, thank you.
Uh, thank you, sir, for precisely answering, citing our Vedic scriptures. So, the next question from back Bangalore University. What is the definition of a universe according to Vedic cosmology? Are different universes as per Vedic cosmology interconnected? What's supposed to be center of our universe? Egg-shaped universe? What is the justification?
See, the Vedic literature, it gives our information that there are different universes and they are not connected at all. So in our universe, it's a four-headed Brahma is there. Some of the universe, there are infinite number of heads of Brahma. There are one-headed Brahma, there are two-headed Brahma, there are three-headed Brahma. So all the universes are different. It's not the same. Okay. So what is the definition of universe according to our Vedic cosmology? So it's a telling that it's the except. Except means it's a what we see. We are able to see only third dimension. So what we do not see, and the language which is converted to a language which we can understand, what we can perceive. So this you can consider that this is the flaw that gets into because of conversion into a language we or whatever we perceive or we understand. Once we are converting it, then it gets generated. Otherwise, except does not mean that it's exactly it. Okay, but it's a given there. It's a except. So we understand that it's a except means it's a closed. This is what it's a telling. You cannot see the other universes. You cannot interact with the other universes. It's a self-contained. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for addressing this question. We would like to take next question from Saurabh Nagpur. Where can one find all these details in books?
Okay, you can refer to the Srimad Bhagavatam published by Bhakti Vedanta, this Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust. Okay, and there you can refer to the third canto, part one, part two. Then you read the fifth canto. There the cosmology, this planetary system, all other things are given. So in the third canto, all the elemental development, the charts I have presented you, so they belong to the third canto, and then some information is there in the 11th canto, 10th canto also there. So all these things are given already. It's a there. And
Yeah.
other Puranas also they are having. In Vayu Purana, if you see in Padma Purana, Vishnu Purana, some of the information are there. So it's scattered over different Puranas.
Thank you, sir, for sharing about different books. So the last question for this talk is from Rajesh, consultant. A modern cosmology is based on predictive power. What specific predictions does Vedic cosmology make that can be experimentally tested today?
See, modern cosmology not based on predictive power, it's based on inductive knowledge. Okay, you are doing induction. This is there, then this is there, and then based on that you are doing this. Vedic cosmology, it's a given certain the top knowledge. Okay, on the top of this is the knowledge, and this is the ultimate thing. Okay, and then the deductive knowledge you will apply. Okay, and if you combine both the this deductive inductive knowledge you will apply, and deductive knowledge is coming from the top, which is the Vedic cosmology is giving you. So already I exhibited you that whatever the information is given, so it's based on the Earth's point of view, those the sun motion, how it's moving fast and slow. So already, and I have shown you how from the modern cosmological point of view, I have converted it and shown you through the figures that it's a true. There is nothing wrong with that. And there are many other information which I myself do not understand. So about that, I can say nothing.
So thank you very much, sir. With this, I would like to thank you for addressing all the questions and delivering a talk which has given a deeper appreciation on the profound connection between Vedic thoughts. And we truly grateful for your time and valuable contribution. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.